I'm Rachel from Cap and Cork, and I'm stepping up to the bar again today with Brian, and you're gonna help us drink outside the box again.
Yes, we are.
What are we gonna tackle today?
We're going to the Negroni, that classic Italian drink that really gets your appetite going.
Okay. Now, I would say I was not super familiar with the Negroni. Am I in the minority, the majority? When it comes
I think
to
for the ones who enjoy a good classic cocktail, know what a Negroni
Know
is.
what it is.
But the rest of the population, no idea.
Okay. So in this endeavor, I took it upon myself to do a little bit of legwork.
Sure.
You know, go out, try a few, see what I could discover.
Right.
And I'll have to say this little shout out to our crew at Copper Spoon. They were phenomenal. Sam stepped up to the bar and like unloaded all of this unbelievable knowledge on me.
Sure.
Just to help me navigate. And at the end of it, I would say I was in love with the Negroni and what it can do for somebody's palate.
So the whole premise of it is to wake up your palate, to get you ready to eat. It's bitter, it's a little sweet, it has some floral, well, depending on how you make it, it has all those things.
Yes.
And originally it was made because somebody went to the bar, I forgot his name, he wanted an Americano, which is just sweet vermouth.
You didn't forget the guy's name.
Well,
Negroni?
Negroni. So he wanted an Americano, which is Campari and sweet vermouth. But that's just not strong enough for Negroni.
Right.
So he wanted gin.
So he
added
swapped out, so it would have been Campari, sweet vermouth, and like soda water or something.
Yeah, a lighter, effervescent.
So he swapped it out and wanted
He took
gin.
out non-alcoholic
And
added
more
more
alcohol.
which around here
I like this guy already.
we're a big fan of.
Yes.
So we can just jump right in because another thing about almost all old school cocktails, it's really easy.
Real easy.
It's three things.
Even parts.
Even parts.
Okay.
1-1-1. So whatever you have, you can go 1-1-1.
The classic. What are we gonna pour into our classic?
Classic, we're going with Tanqueray, an old school classic gin. The original called for Campari, bitter, orange, strong. And then, Nolly Pratt, sweet vermouth.
Okay.
This one's not exactly full traditional, but the right flavor for the time frame.
Okay. And these are all things that are very readily available on the shelf.
Right.
Correct? Okay.
You can get, you'll always be able to find a London dry gin. Campari is at most places, and a sweet vermouth. So if you just want to dive in and start trying Negronis,
right,
it's those three things.
Easy breeze.
Easy breezy.
All right.
So we go into it with our stirring glass, and we just do 1-1-1. I'm doing 2-2-2 since we're.
You better share.
Yeah, and I remembered this time.
Thank you. Now, time frame on the whole, do I want to say, invention or creation story of the Negroni?
It's the 20s.
So 1919, 1920, in that ballpark. Cafe in Venice, and you can see the setting.
Right. They're sitting there, they're all probably luminaries, all talking to each other about what's going on in the world at that time. It's a very important time in the world, and you need a little bit more alcohol when those kind of things are going on.
Serious discussion requires,
serious drink.
Serious drink.
Another great thing about the Negroni is the color is just beautiful.
That's just what I was gonna say, is like the brightness, the vibrancy of it is amazing. So even that, like visually, you know how you drink with your eyes first?
You do.
Visually, it would be stimulating on top of everything else. So the sweet vermouth just kind of deepens that tone,
makes it more ruby.
Yeah.
Doesn't brown it, even though it's brown liqueur.
Yeah. The Campari stands up.
It does. Now, before I go ahead and add ice into that, we're going to feature a little bit of a product here. Beyond Ice, local company, local made, has brought in a demo for us to make ice balls out of.
Oh, that's quite an apparatus over
It
there.
is. It's got some gravity to it. It's a lot of fun. You really you take your ice,
Oh, wow.
you put it on,
Oh, it's melting already.
and you just let it go to work. While that's working, I'm gonna add the ice into the cocktail.
Okay. So I would say like making these would be extremely easy.
It is easy. It's just,
So it makes sense that they would have it as a drink before dinner.
right, because you're just having fun. You're getting your appetite ready.
Is there science behind the bitters and the impacts on your digestion and that type of thing, or it awakens your palate as far as taste buds?
It gets your taste buds and your saliva going a little bit, and then a little bit of bitter in your stomach makes you more hungry. And then being that it's, back in the day, it's how you drank. You drank before a meal. This was the one that woke you up. You drank during the meal, wine, and then you had a digestive after which
the meal?
helps you digest your food.
I'm gonna go ahead and say now, I think I was born in the wrong era.
I mean,
But
alcohol is a course.
it is. And I totally missed the ice is already done.
It is already done.
Oh, wow. So super quick.
Nice quick little process.
Oh, wow,
Get
that's
a nice
beautiful.
round cube. Get a nice round one out of there. The other one I'm gonna go ahead and just put a slightly smaller one in a glass.
Perfect.
And since this doesn't have any juice or anything added to it, you don't have to double strain.
Okay.
You can just do a real easy strain in over the ice.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Perfect.
And then just to fully accentuate the flavor of the orange, pull a little bit of a twist off. Just press it over, drop it in. And there you have the classic original
Wow.
Negroni.
I could just stand here and look at it.
I mean, it's a beautiful ruby color. The orange zest sets off a lot of color.
Off the top, on the nose, it's amazing.
It's bright orange.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's great. It impacts, I want to say, every part of the palate.
It covers the tongue. It has some acidity on the sides and underneath.
And as with each sip, I feel like it activates and reactivates. But I could see where this would make total sense. And I know we're using the word bitter,
Right, but
not in the true respect of what.
it's not making your mouth pucker.
No, I think it's more of like maybe like the taste bud bitter section, like it's activating that, but it's not undrinkable
Right,
from
it's-
that respect.
The nice part with the Sweet Vermouth, it definitely tempers the bitterness a lot of the Campari, which is fairly bitter if you went and tasted it on its own. You
If you did it
probably wouldn't
by
want to
its own.
drink it.
Right.
But in this cocktail combination,
How it works
the
together.
gin doesn't come through as piney.
Nope.
You get the citrusy, which plays in with the Campari.
And that's where I think some people might not be aware. Me as a whiskey drinker, I wasn't necessarily aware of the Negroni because I choose not to drink gin on a regular
Right.
basis. It's not something that I seek out. But in this scenario, you don't even know.
Right. It's not ginny,
No. Ugh, delicious.
but it's tasty.
It is tasty.
All right, so we are now going to get into our next iteration.
So in the drinking outside the box model, we try a traditional or classic cocktail, which we
Right.
just did. And then we do a variation.
Just a little bit outside.
Smidge.
Right, right on the edge.
Okay, so how are we taking one step closer to that?
So we're still gin,
Okay,
we're still a bitter orange,
okay.
and we're still sweet vermouth.
So still hitting all of the marks
All
for
the marks.
a Negroni.
But what we're switching up is the flavor
Okay.
and fun
Because,
presentation.
I mean, you think about gin these days, there's so many different
They're adding a lot of
expressions.
flavors
Right.
to them. So we grabbed Malfi, blood orange.
Okay.
So less juniper, way more fruit.
And would you say it's like classic fresh fruit forward?
It is like biting into a blood orange.
Okay.
But a little sweeter.
a little sweeter.
And then we moved over to Aperol.
Now, how does that different from Campari?
Not as bitter, brighter flavors, and just a touch sweeter.
Okay.
And the alcohol's a little different.
So already we're adding a little more sweet, a little more sweet. So
And
I could
brighter.
see where that would balance out to be more approachable for
Summer.
bingo.
We're going summer.
Right.
And then we switched it up to Antica Carpano,
Okay. And how does that vary?
vanilla.
Okay.
It is. It also has more wormwood and gentian, which is more bitter, but the vanilla
The
flavor
vanilla comes.
is what is coming right to the top and playing in these.
I'm sold already, so
It's going to be fun.
okay.
So it's also all the same.
A one.
1-1. So we'll just get
You're
right into
making
it.
it a real easy argument for, being able to
Remember
make these at
yeah.
home
It's-
whenever.
It's gin. Malfi.
That is beautiful.
The other fun thing about Malfi, and a lot of people don't know this, is the birthplace of gin is Italy,
Oh,
on the Malfi coast.
the Malfi Coast.
So
there we go.
Malfi gin, Malfi
So you're
coast.
playing homage.
Where
homage
almost
to-
everybody thinks Britain, because that's a
That's-
stereotypical London dry. Everybody
Right.
knows the style.
We get set in these stereotypes and don't break out of them so easily.
Correct. So this one we're actually going a lot more Italian.
Now this one already, the color, and I know we haven't added the sweet vermouth,
But-
is brighter and crisper.
And lighter.
So the gin, I think the gin and the Aperol together, I mean, even if you do these side by side, you can tell
That there's a big difference.
a
between
big difference in the color variation on them.
it. And the Carpano is about the same color as the Nolly, so it's really just gonna make it a subtle
sweetness,
ruby.
Yeah.
And just a really nice color.
Beautiful.
Now here's where we get to have a little bit more fun.
No, wait. Can we put this much fun in one cocktail?
I think
Are
we
allowed?
can.
Okay. What
So
are we gonna
anytime
do?
you get to get a hammer out when you're making cocktails is a good time.
Did you sign the waiver, Brian?
I wrote the waiver. So this is a Lewis bag,
Okay.
which is just a canvas bag. And
Fair enough.
You take your beautiful ice. It's actually named after a bank bag,
Fair enough.
which if you remember old school bank bags that have the lock on them and they got carried around, it's
Makes sense.
pretty similar. Maybe one more. I gotta fill up some big glasses. So fold it over, get a good grip on it, and then you just take out your daily frustrations.
Oh, it's that kind of therapy.
It's that kind of therapy, you know, the smashing stuff.
Oh, wow.
You get into it. You really want to crush it good. Now this would also be a good time if you've got the kids and they got that snow cone machine that just sits in the cupboard and you don't get to use that often.
Probably not the Snoopy snow cone machine.
Hey,
but
if you've got it,
use it. Okay.
If you want to use a Lewis bag, use a Lewis bag.
I mean, I will say this is a fun presentation.
I mean, your
You'd
guests,
probably get people lined up that want to take a whack at it.
or you just, you're mixing the drinks, you hand it to the guys sitting
You're
at the
like-
bar and you're like, hey, Crush the ice.
Crush it. But I will say this, there's no mess.
Yeah, much less messy.
Yeah,
Now,
just a little elbow grease.
They are some big cubes. We're gonna have I think we're pretty good.
Pretty good?
I think we're pretty good. It's pretty well crushed up. There are some bigger pieces, but that's fine.
It'll be great. So have variations on the Negroni been just a piece of history as far as once we have a classic cocktail, just like the old fashioned or the margarita, once you have that classic, everybody wants to make their mark on it.
Right, and you should. Have fun with it.
Make it yours.
Make it yours.
What are some of the more unique, what do I want to say, interpretations of the Negroni?
I mean, it's like a lot of things. It's your choice on alcohol.
Okay.
I've seen mezcal Negronis. I mean, it's pretty much like a lot of the things we've been doing.
Anything goes?
It's a formula.
Okay.
And as long as you have fun with it and you like drinking it,
That's the important part.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just have fun with it.
And I think ultimately, like even when I was sampling different Negronis around Fort Wayne,
Right.
ultimately at the end of the day, would it be a drink that I go and order? Maybe, maybe not.
Right.
But I think it's important that everybody tries it purely out of curiosity.
It's a lot of fun flavor. And it's unique, especially to an American palate where we're not huge bitter drinkers. We're starting
Right.
to get more and more.
Because I'm almost picturing, somebody that's a continual stay in my lane whiskey drinker.
Right.
Talk about palate fatigue. And, if you're always trying those same flavors and those same profiles,
There's only so many mash bills out there.
bingo. So this is a great way to kind of deviate, but then also develop and explore
Something
what's
a little different.
a different flavor.
Now, what would be fun for this one as well, especially if you were doing it, poolside,
Oh,
outside.
absolutely.
Batch it up into a bottle.
That's beautiful.
Batch it up. Throw it in the freezer.
Okay.
And I usually will not tell you to put anything in the freezer, but get it cold. Make up your snow,
Okay.
and then just do it like a snow cone. Syrup it out.
Negroni snow cones.
Negroni snow cone.
That,
Snow grown.
that just took like a pool party from here to like next level. Like,
And so I didn't put this one over ice to stir it
oh my goodness.
because it is going to
be-
dilute heavily
Totally submerged in ice.
in all the little ice. It's going to instantly dilute itself.
Oh my goodness. That's gorgeous.
Nice big hurricane glass.
Is orange always the garnish of choice simply because you're accentuating the
Pretty much.
Aperol or the Campari, the bitter part of it?
Generally you always want to complement with it.
Okay.
Get your fun little spoon
Spoons.
straws.
Nice.
Get down in there.
Those are gorgeous.
And then it just looks like you're going tropical, but you're on a Negroni.
This is amazing. Okay.
I mean, cheers on this one.
Cheers. Do the straw.
Totally different.
Completely different. Activating similar parts of the palate, I will say.
Yes.
But still, I think getting that sweet right off of the
That
gate.
sweet. I pick up the vanilla right away out of the Carpano.
Yep. Oh my.
But this could just be a really fun summer.
And I would put it more in the dessert category almost.
Almost.
Like between the ice making me think of a snow cone and the vanilla. Oh. We have a winner.
It's just really tasty. Really, really fun.
Not to mention visually stunning.
I mean, who doesn't love drinking out of a hurricane glass? Packed full of little pieces of ice. If you did it full snow cone, use the spoon.
Use the spoon. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we're gonna want to see customer pictures
Of every poolside snow grony.
Poolside Negroni. I love it.
Negroni.
Is that? Did you just create one?
I'm patenting that one right now.
Patent the Negroni. We just have to come up with the cone.
I mean,
make
you can
it-
just buy those.
Buy 'em. There we go. All right. So I would say you successfully, number one, you pushed us outside of my comfort zone
With just
the
a Negroni.
Took us one step further when it came to the hurricane here.
Right.
How do we fully step outside the box?
So this one we went full.
Okay.
So, but we're still within our formula.
So we have a gin.
We have a gin. We went with Uncle Val's Botanical, California.
Okay.
Completely different style again. So we did a London Dry, we did an Italian Fruit Forward, and now we're doing a California
California gin.
Botanical.
California Botanical.
So botanical style. So
Okay.
it's less on the juniper, but way more on all the other herbs.
Fair enough.
Then we're going also to a different country for our Sweet Vermouth.
Okay.
We are going to Spain. They are making phenomenal vermouths right now. So if you haven't gotten on a vermouth train yet and been like, oh, what do all these different vermouths do?
Check out Spain.
Check out Spain.
How will it how do you differentiate it, or how would you
It'll have a little
describe
more
it?
bitterness,
Okay.
but it also, so I think kind of like Spanish wines. Spanish wines are a little more rustic, a little more bold than
Okay.
kind of what most of us are used to.
They want you to know what that
And
you're
that
drinking
comes
it.
through in the vermouth, since vermouth is wine-based.
Wine. Okay.
So it comes through with all of that.
Fair enough. And
Then we're throwing bitters in this one, which we haven't done yet.
so we're amping up.
We're amping
that.
up flavors. We're amping it up with
Okay.
Aztec chocolate bitters.
Wait,
which has
chocolate?
chocolate.
Chocolate.
Aztec, so read between lines, it's got a touch of chili. Just a touch. And then we're also going with cherry bitters
So adding in another fruit into the
mix.
Okay.
Now this is where we're going way out. Way out. So this newer product, Griotini. So Griotini is very similar to Aperol and Campari in that it is bitter. But it is cherry liqueur and absinthe mixed together, but at a low proof.
Okay.
So it's-
it would, at that lower proof, kind of meld better and pair better
right.
with those.
So it's not going to be as strong.
Right.
So it's only 30 proof. But then, so I took this Griotini
Okay.
and I did something
Which
to
is
it.
cherry absinthe.
Absinthe.
Fair enough.
So I took it and I infused it in my infusing bottle
Oh my.
with 92% dark chocolate for almost 4 days.
So you're bringing in that chocolate again that you had from the bitters in a different.
And it has cherry, which we're going to
Cherry,
accentuate
okay.
with the bitters.
All right, I'm following.
And since it's bitter chocolate, 92% dark,
Then that in itself.
no extra sweetness.
Fair enough.
Because the Griotini is a bitter liqueur.
Talk a little bit about the infusion process.
So this bottle, and actually we're generally just going to be talking about this bottle because it's a really cool bottle. This bottle comes apart top and bottom, and then there's a basket inside.
Okay.
So you take off the bottom, and then whatever you want to infuse with,
You put it in.
you put it in the basket, lock it back down, screw it back onto the bottom, and then whatever spirit you then pour into the top.
Okay. So you could infuse any sorts or
You could do vodka with any kind of pepper,
Flavoring.
jalapenos, peppers. You can re-infuse gin. You can infuse rum with more vanilla and allspice.
So again, peeking on the curiosity of the home mixologist.
Right, the
for
home
sure.
mixologist, this is a great bottle.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Shake it every once in a while.
Do you sample it, or do you have to let
sample, I sampled about every day.
Okay.
Until I want
just to see the progression of it.
Right, because some things infuse faster, some are slower, and then the higher proof ones definitely
just
go faster. So since this is low proof, almost 4 days.
4 days.
4
okay.
days.
Well, that
And then-
still isn't horrible.
Then you just pour to a different bottle, take the bottom out, clean out the basket, put it back together. You can put it back in this beautiful decanter.
Gotcha. All right. So this is way out there.
Way
Brian.
out there.
I think you better make sure you draw me a map.
We're gonna draw a map.
Okay.
All right, so after you do your infusion and it's to your liking,
Okay.
you're good to go. In the
Okay.
decanter, start to make your drink. Now, being that this is just a Negroni,
We'll still do the same formula.
Same formula, except we're adding
The
bitters.
The extra bitters.
So we'll just get,
Which volume-wise
is not gonna
isn't
change
going to impact anything.
at all.
Okay.
It's just flavor. This one will not have that beautiful ruby color. It will be more brown.
Oh, that is a deep
Yeah,
brown.
so the pivot is much darker, much more intensely flavored.
Okay.
Oh, but you can smell it. It smells nice.
And last, but certainly not least,
Our dark chocolate infused Griotini.
and I think this is where I would really want people to be curious and explore. So not only looking at what you can infuse on, a clear spirit side, look at the liqueurs.
Right.
And how you could amplify, elevate, or even mellow out some of those.
Yeah, because there's a lot of really fun liqueurs that maybe you think is just missing that
smidge.
little thing.
Right.
That really small little thing. So bitter-wise, as we've said before, bitters are powerful.
Powerful.
We're going with 6.
Okay. And this is the Aztec chocolate.
bitters from Fee Brothers.
Okay.
Cherry bitters from Woodford.
We've seen this one before.
We've seen orange.
Orange.
We didn't
Oh,
use
have
the
not
cherry.
used cherry.
So this is the first time we've used
Changing
cherry.
it up on me a little bit.
7, 8, 9, 10.
10 drops.
10 drops.
Okay.
Let's do a little icy. Don't need to crack this one because it's small. That's going to be good. Stir till cold.
The color on this one is significantly different.
Yes,
Darker.
much darker. Speaking of different variations, I've seen coffee Negronis
Oh, wow.
using a not sweet coffee liqueur.
Coffee liqueur. Okay.
One that we're waiting to get into Indiana is Mr. Black.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the day it comes. I will have it here the instant it can. But in the meantime, you can use one of the local guys.
Yeah.
You can use Three Rivers Night Owl.
Night Owl. There's
They
a huge and popular one here in town.
Right,
So.
and since they use the bare minimum of sugar to still be called a liqueur, it's much more coffee
focused.
than it is sugar focused.
Okay. So that one would definitely give a good balance.
It would. It would still bring, those fun bitter notes, which are a lot of fun.
Cool.
Now this one we also did a little bit of a different ice.
Those look significantly different.
Significantly
what did we do?
different. We went ahead and did our clear ice, but we froze orange
You put your garnish inside the
and
ice.
cherry inside the ice.
This feels some sort of ice age thematic coming on.
It's all kinds of fun.
It's good.
It's fun. And it just will look really nice as it gets clear. clear as you pour the cocktail on it. You can see the garnish through the ice.
Oh, wow. And this one I could see where like the ice would slowly dissolve.
Very slowly. It's not going to really change the flavor. It just looks fun.
It looks fun. Oh, already on the nose on this one.
I mean, you can whole different nose.
What do I want to say? Much more herb focused?
Herb focused, rich. I think it tastes, well, smells much richer.
Yeah. And I can still get that chocolate hint with the cherry. Is this dessert in a glass?
I think this is more dessert. So we've said the word aperitif a lot today. First, I want to get a sip of this first.
Yeah. Oh, wait, cheers.
Cheers.
Amazing.
Whole different.
It awakens again a whole nother level of your palate.
Still has a nice bitter note to it, but it also has a little bit of sweetness, but not as sweet as the snow cone.
No, and it's in a different approach or a different realm of sweetness. So
we've brought up aperitif a lot with the Aperol, the Campari. So aperitifs, we've kind of touched on. They're a little bitter. They're for the beginning of the meal, to waken everything. Before. Aperitif, before, appetizer.
Okay.
That's kind of where it comes from.
Got it.
All comes together. Digestives are after.
So this will be once your meal is done.
So kind of by adding that chocolate to the Griotini,
it's like a dessert, and
we've kind of turned aperitif to a digestive. To help you digest your meal.
Fair enough.
And it, this has a hint of a Tootsie Roll to me too.
Is that what I'm getting?
That's what I'm getting.
With
well, because Tootsie Roll is orange chocolate. So
there you go.
A little nostalgia right there for me.
And it's so great it's not one that you're going to want to sit there and just down.
No, you're going to sit and enjoy.
You're going to sip on it. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy the conversation at the end of the meal.
Talking about how you went through and infused. Tell your friends about this bottle. Because
all of it.
Just the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're going to impress your friends.
I would say so, definitely.
That you went through
the whole process.
The whole process.
And the simplicity of these still, I think, is like the amazing part. So even with this one having a few more components to it.
But really just the bitters. It's still three.
It was extremely simple, quick and easy to make before or after
you
a
finish
meal.
it.
Yep. And easy to sit down and enjoy with your friends and family.
Exactly. And that's what cocktails are all about.
Yes. So any of these products that we touched on today, come and see you.
Come and see us at Covington Plaza. We have all of these with, the exception of the Infused.
Right.
That was done at home, but all the rest are on our shelves.
Okay.
Come on in and try a Negroni.
Explore. That's all we're asking. Just explore a little bit.
Don't pigeonhole yourself.
Please don't. Whatever you do. If nothing else, I think Brian has taught us that we need to continually step outside the box because there's always something worthwhile waiting for us out there.
There is.
Stay curious. Follow all the fun we're having between Brian and the outside the box, drinking outside the box, and all of our other shenanigans going on at Cap and Cork by following all of our social media channels. Find out first what's going on at Cap and Cork by signing up for our email newsletter at capandcork.com. And is there anything else?
Keep drinking.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Can never cheers enough.